Abortion.
There's abortion agenda. There's transgender agenda.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another YouTube video on the inabber Live channel. If you want to join these horrible people right here, you can do so, because I'm sure that you're a much better person than they are. These people are sick individuals. And you are sick for not subscribing to this YouTube channel and also not following me on twitch.tv, where we are live right now, where you can come and join us if you really want to. But if you don't, that's fine. You can watch this video at your own pleasure and time, where you don't have to be with us live. But if you want to, that would be great. Firstly, chat, we're speaking about a channel that I've never spoken about, ever. I've been requested to speak about these human beings so many times. The eight passengers. This is like a family channel, and we know how I feel about family channels. These are, it's the worst form of content known to humankind. Usually exploitative, just wrong in general. And I think the whole process of documenting your child's life and putting it on your YouTube channel every single week is not good for a child's development. And also it leads to things like such as you seeking out views, and how does a family channel get views? But it's them usually putting their kids in situations where, you know, things aren't good. Now, I actually don't know too much about these guys. I've watched a Jay Aubrey video. I've never made a main channel video, but if there's one thing I know, it's that the mum is a bloomin' nut job. She is mental. And now the mum, they've kind of ended this channel now, and the mum's gone on to do other things. She's now like, imagine like Girl to Find, but on crack. Like, they've smoked up a big load of crack, and they've started a Christian YouTube channel. Because what you would get is this mess right here called ConneXions. Now, I'm sure if you're well equipped with the Girl to Find law, you know about this. Run away, people. Save yourselves in the chat. Everybody knows about this stuff other than myself. And if you don't know, welcome to the journey, where we're going to be taking a look at this mental channel by the creator of the 8 passengers. I think it's this woman right here. I don't even know their names, but I have found some very interesting clips. In this clip where they speak about principles, Christian and truthful principles about being a true, real Christian, they like to compare themselves to a certain historical figure. Let's get into this wonderful video.
Yes, and I think many of us know this story, that back then we had a culture that was in distortion around that experience. And the culture, which is us, the people, many of us would say, you can't, and that's wrong. It's kind of like today's culture.
In context, the cult they're talking about here is racism in the 60s, pretty much 60s and 50s. They're speaking about how back then it was bad, and people rose up and stood against it. That's what they're saying here. So, you know, absolutely fine right now. Bloody lovely. Speak about all those issues. Congratulations. Let's continue.
Someone stands in a position of truth, and many people get attacked. Like, you and I get attacked.
We're attacked every day.
Every day.
And must be doing something right.
That's right. We must be living in truth. We must be, you know, like a Rosa Parks.
I beg your pardon?
Can you say that again?
And
must be doing something right.
That's right. We must be living in truth. We must be, you know, like a Rosa Parks.
During Black History Month, you're going to do that? I mean, to be fair, this video wasn't uploading there, but either way, it's just wrong. But this is like the thing a lot of like white Christians and stuff, and I specify white because obviously most privileged like class of society there is really in terms of like, I don't know, race and stuff. What I'm trying to say here is a lot of in particular Christians on YouTube. Now, don't get me wrong, people seem to think that I hate Christians. I literally come from a Christian family. Half my family are Catholics and half of them are Protestants. You can only imagine how that goes. So I know quite a bit about Christianity, and I like Christians. Well, I don't like Christians. Not in like a way of like I hate them for being Christians. I like a Christian if they're good to me. That's what I'm trying to say here. I don't like somebody for being a Christian. If they're a Christian, that's great. If they're nice, that's great. But if they're a dick, they're a dick. And I think the problem is with people like this is that they use their Christian beliefs in order to kind of like, I guess, not only defend their actions, because these people, especially her from the 8 passengers, have done a lot of sussy-wussy things, in particular with their family and how they run their channels and how they treat their kids. And they've used Christianity as like a martyr to kind of defend themselves and defend their actions, which is a big issue with a lot of Christian YouTubers out there, you know. They use Christianity as a way to kind of, I guess, attack a lot of social issues.
And God bless Rosa. I mean, what an amazing woman that she was willing to stand for truth. And now that we're decades down the road and people have become more conscientious, and many of the people who...
You mean not racist? You can say the word. It's not like Voldemort. Like Rosa Parks won't come back and haunt you if you say the word.
Not support her in her position have died, and so that's helpful.
To be fair, yeah.
And we have new generations that see the reality. That was X amount of decades ago. We still are in the same circumstance.
True. There is still these issues and they exist today, and I think it's quite funny that, well, it's not funny, it's quite terrible that a lot of people in society like to pretend that these issues don't still exist. Where are you going with this?
Evolved around
The issues have changed.
yeah, the reflection of what we're arguing around is different today.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
But as far as people being in distortion, we've got just as many people in distortion in today's world as we had
Absolutely.
back then with Rosa in her generation as well. They're just of different issues.
No. People, they're saying this because people criticize them, as you probably took it from earlier. You being criticized for your family channel on YouTube isn't the same to Rosa Parks. I don't even... Look, I've just shouted that, and a neighbor has heard me say that. Do you not think how insane they possibly think I am right now? You are making me go insane. These are the issues we've got in society in the modern day. People saying stupid things like that. This is like the first video I've ever watched of this woman. As I said, I barely know anything about these people, but I'm taking the clear due note that they are pretty much insane.
We're inviting you to really understand principles and let go of how these principles are being played out and understand the principle. Like,
What the does that mean? We're gonna make sure that these principles play out and then understand the principle. That you're just saying words.
let go of the agenda.
What agenda? This is another thing I love that a lot of conservatives love to do. They like to be, there's an agenda, man. That the putting frogs in the word is an agenda, and we need to stop the political agenda in the lefty loony discourse. It's like, what do you mean by agenda? People having like thoughts and feelings and morals. Like I remember it was like, who was it? It was like some channel spoke about The Last of Us, and he was very mad. He was like the episode 3, which was a very gay episode, and he was like, oh, episode 3 was good, but I didn't like that they pushed the gay agenda in it. There was no gay agenda. They weren't noshing each other off for 20 minutes straight. All that happened was that there was a couple in the episode who just so happened to both like cock. Absolutely fine, you know? Absolutely fine. That's not a gay agenda. It's just a gay person existing. Me being a bisexual man isn't an agenda. I'm just a bloke. I am just a bloke. I'm not an agenda for... you're gonna... Imagine you open up the inabber channel. I blooming love that video about Onision. Shame about the gay agenda, though. And it's not an agenda. It's just an existence and who somebody is.
There's all these agendas, like Black Lives Matter agenda.
That's not an agenda. That's literal. I love that. I didn't even know that they were going to go into that, and I guessed it. I guessed that they were going to go into like social matters in terms of agendas. That's not an issue. That's not an agenda. That's just black people mattering. It's in the name. It's quite literally in the name.
Yeah, abortion.
There's abortion agenda. There's transgender agenda.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
I mean, I'm pro-abortion. I guess you can take it as an agenda, I guess, because it's not someone's identity. But these things, they're not agendas. They're just people.
LGBTQ.
Again, they're just people. These aren't agendas. Look. Who I choose to lay with isn't an agenda. Like, I'm not making this video pushing a gay agenda. Gay record just happened to be a certain sexuality. I think the reason these people love to say like these things like agenda is because, for one, they think it makes them sound smart. But there's also a lot of buzzwords used to kind of attack certain communities of people. Because by saying it's an agenda, a political agenda, people will be like, oh, I don't want politics in my movies and all my shows. And it's like, well, being gay isn't politics. It's not a political agenda. Again, as I've said for the 50th time, it's just a person. I hate the word agenda, says Ethan in the chat. Me too, because it's misused so many times. The 4 things here, one of them can be considered an agenda, because yeah, yes, there is that's not a sexuality and agenda, but these, no.
The school's agenda.
That's right.
There's critical race theory agenda.
How have you just gone from school to critical race theory? These people are quite nutty.
All these different agendas. And we're inviting you to look underneath those agendas and see if they're being...
I don't want to. Like, again, why? This is the thing when they're bringing up, let's play into their agenda. Let's play into their agenda and say, being transgender, Black Lives Matter, and all that other stuff, it's all an agenda. I don't want to look past it, though. Realistically, give me a reason to why we should look past these issues. Like, of people just wanting equality and the right to just simply exist in society, regularly and normally. You know, why would we look past that? Because all they're saying here is, oh, there are these agendas, and let's look away from them. Why? Like, why?
Governed by honesty, by personal responsibility,
Yes.
and by humility.
Yes! That's the whole fucking point of them! If we're looking at it as an agenda, like, I don't know, LGBT rights, the agenda is, yes, there should be honesty in the fact that these are just people. There should be personal responsibility in the fact that you fight to protect these people's rights, and there should be humility in the fact that you do these two things because you are a human being, and these other people who may identify different to you or may be a different sexuality to you are just human beings like you, and that should mean that we all have equal rights in a perfect society. They literally all go under those three things.
Yeah, we're inviting you not to look at the outcomes of where you think those...
They're saying, we're inviting you to not actually have any freedom of thought. You just gotta listen to what we're saying.
ideologies will lead. Because remember...
What ideologies? Somebody being trans isn't an ideology. It's just their gender, right?
Living in truth isn't trying to control an outcome. Yeah. Living in truth.
You're doing that in this video. You are controlling people's narratives by saying, don't listen to that, don't listen to this. Do what we do. That's what you're doing here. You are doing exactly what you are complaining about, which is what all of these like Christian channels that go to find and these nut jobs love to do. Put a 5 in the chat, a beans in the chat if you subscribe to the LGBTQ plus agenda. Love that agenda. Big up.
Is it honest, responsible, and humble?
Right. Right. And remember that because Ruby and I are defenders and educators of principles, they're not our principles.
Then whose are they?
Remember that principles are eternal.
We're not in a anime series right now. There is no big bad boss called Eternal or Eternus. I'm pretty sure that's the name of a Marvel villain. Like Eternal is just a word. I'm pretty sure it means it lasts forever. What are you talking about? Obviously what they're doing here is just saying that, oh, it's God. It's God doing this. God's not telling you to make this fucking YouTube channel. In fact, I think the reason nobody's like ever actually seen this God bloke is mainly because he's seen shit like this and he's like, I don't really want a part of this anymore. I don't really want to do this. You know, when you're like in a group project with like a random group of people, you don't get in the group with your friends because there's a max capacity of 4 and there's like 6 of you. So you got to go group up with some randomers, and the group project is just dog shit what you make of these randomers, and you don't want your name attached to that, so you just kind of slowly move away. I feel like God's done that because of channels like this.
We're just spokespersons for them.
Who?
Because they don't speak for themselves.
Again, you're complaining about agendas, but you've literally just said we are spokespeoples for other people's agendas. That's not very truthful.
They don't have a voice to speak for themselves, but they're very powerful when you understand them.
This isn't Demon Slayer. There aren't demons telling you to do this. Although maybe there are. That would only be a valid explanation for this.
We want to talk about relationships, like a person coming together with another person, and show you when one person is in truth and juxtapose it with a person that's in distortion.
What does that mean?
And these agendas are full of people because agenda doesn't get created on its own. It is created by a human, and the human brings more humans into the agenda. And if the agenda...
What the are you saying? You're just saying words and combining them together. And I know that's how a sentence works, but these words aren't actually making any sense. An agenda actually has a definition. I'm pretty sure. That's usually how words work. A list of items to be discussed at a formal meeting. It's not people. It's literally just what you're talking about right now. This video about principles is an agenda.
Actually is a truth-based agenda, then you will have people that are above the base supporting this agenda in truth. And the same thing is true for distortion.
Just stop. You're giving me a headache. Stop. Please. Somebody in the chat at the beginning said, don't do this. This is an iceberg you don't want to go down. And I see why. I see why.
Yes.
You will have a base of distortion, and you will have all these people that will also be evidencing.
Distortion? We're not playing Pokemon Platinum. We're not entering the distortion world. Maybe this is what it's about. Maybe they just really like Pokemon Platinum and they went to the distortion world, met Garatina, and Garatina says, yo, gay agenda, don't like it, get it out. That's why Arceus banished him. If you've never played Pokemon Platinum, you have no idea what I just said. But if you do know what Pokemon Platinum is, maybe these guys are just big subscribers to the Pokemon Platinum world. And if so, fair enough, pretty based.
Through their perceptions, through their emotions, through their actions, that they're actually supporting an agenda and distortion.
I love this conversation because right now we're living in a world that
You don't look like you love it. You both look really sad. Like, look at her face. She's depressed. She knows she's speaking an absolute codswallop right now. This is a face of a woman that knows this is just stupid. This is just absolutely blooming stupid.
Quite largely driven through political views. Well, what political ideology are you? Are you with this party? Are you with that party? Mm-hmm. And when you live in truth, there's no parties. You don't.
There literally is, though. You have just said before this that you say things that some big omnipresent, whatever you say it, leader tells you, like, or has these rules and these agendas, and you are the spokespeople for that. You are part of basically a political party, just in a religious sense. Just because you can't vote for them doesn't mean that you're not a part of these groups. This is what I love about these people, man. They love to be like, oh, all these people in like the woke politics and these political groups. I don't subscribe to them. I don't know what politics in anything. The people in this world that say that they don't want politics in their movies or video games, for the most part, usually are actually the most political people you will ever meet. I have family members who are like, oh, stop bringing up politics. I hate that politics is brought into anything. But they are the ones that speak about politics the most. And these people are so unbelievably guilty of that.
Put yourself with a certain party. You're just looking at truth.
Exactly. So your agenda or your motive is where is the truth in this, and where is the distortion?
These people are just saying the exact same thing on repeat. Let's move on to the next video. I'm not watching another 10 minutes of this absolute guy. It's got like 12 likes and 1 dislike. The best part is about this channel is like, it does not perform well because most people just think that 8 passengers are nuts, rightly so. But they're going for it. They are uploading more content than I upload, and none of it does well. But breaking down Will Smith's control. I mean, we're not going to watch the full thing because it's 14 minutes, but let's see what they say.
Will is sitting in a lot of painful outcomes right now, and many outcomes we probably aren't even aware of.
Since slapping the comedian on stage at the 2002 Academy Awards.
I've fallen asleep. Get to the point.
In which he apologized to
Get
Rock.
to the point.
He's just made Chris responsible. I'll apologize when you're ready.
Yeah, I can't continue my apology/repentance unless you come talk to me. And there's no truth to that. Chris Rock never needs to talk to him again, and Will Smith can repent fully.
Repent? Why? It's not repent. I mean, I guess it kind of is in a way, but yes, is it that deep? Okay, but let's actually get on to the I saw they uploaded this video called No Right to Privacy. This is a video where she goes through how pretty much children deserve no privacy or something. Not watch the full thing, watch like the first minute, but let's get into this.
Today,
They have a whole fucking set for this channel, and they've got 4,000. You got too much money on your hands. Like, if there was ever an advertisement for communism, it would be this channel. This channel is why we need to redistribute wealth, because look at this, man. They are using this money irresponsibly. Don't use your money to make this shit. Use your money to, I don't know, get somebody some healthcare or something. Cure some blindness like Mr. Beast.
I had a question come in, and this mother touches on a subject I have wanted to talk about for a very long time, and that is the topic of privacy and children. Do children have privacy?
They deserve it, and they absolutely should have the right to it. Like every other human being should. Everybody deserves privacy.
Is privacy a principle of truth?
Yes, like it quite literally fucking is. Privacy is not only like allowing somebody to have their own space, but it also allows them to kind of conclude their thoughts in their brain. It allows them to have time to themselves and think about things. If somebody has an argument or something, they deserve the privacy to go and sit by themselves and just breathe things over and just chill and stuff. And also, privacy is a human right, and just the self of like, you deserve time to yourself, and you deserve to only have things for you, and that what you don't want other people to know. Especially children who are developing and have so many thoughts and feelings and mixed emotions, especially during puberty and stuff like that.
If so, how do I gauge privacy of my child? How much do I give them?
As much as they need. I mean, obviously you should be aware that your kids are like going onto bad websites and stuff, but that's not really a privacy thing. You can just put a content blocker to block adult websites. But for the most part, a kid should be able to have as much privacy as they need.
Is privacy something that I can give my child?
Yes, it is. But I think we all know where this is going.
These are all topics that come up in this question. Let me tell you, this mom who wrote this question is awake. Good job. I was reading it and I was like, good job. I just love hearing that there are mothers out there who are awake, who are aware, who they're not pandering to.
You know where it's going when they say the word pandering. Like, you know that this is going down a route of where, Jesus Christ, here we go again.
Their children, they aren't trying to be their children's friend. They aren't intimidated to hold boundaries. It is truth in this house. And
I know people are very, I guess, skeptical, or like people don't think you shouldn't be friends with your kid. I think you should be a parent and a friend to your child. I think that's very much possible without having like a connection where you are allowing the kid to get away with a bunch of things. Like, I would say that my dad is my friend, especially when I was growing up, but he was also my dad. You know what I'm saying here? Like, I think having a good balance is the right way to go about it. You shouldn't be this like officer who is like striking down everything that they're doing. You should be able to allow your child to make mistakes and do things which aren't responsible, because that's how people learn. If you throw them into a squishy room where they can't do any wrong, they're not going to grow and learn, and when they get to the adult world, they're going to be fucking useless. Kids making mistakes and doing silly things is all a part of the growing process, and having privacy is a big part of that, a big part to a kid's development. I'm not even a father. I'm not a parent. I know that because I was a kid one time. I know you've got a family channel, and I know it's got so much controversy out there, and I know it's because you treat your kids shit. Like you are a very bad parent from everything that I have seen.
So she starts off by saying, "Hello, ladies. I am posting today in an attempt to find support for my 14-year-old daughter." 14. So she's going into 9th grade. Bear with me as this gets a little bit choppy. My daughter and I are cleaning her room together, and I was helping her organize some of her belongings into boxes for our upcoming move. At one point, I came across a small black journal.
And you responsibly put that away and did not touch it, because that is not yours to touch, and it probably contains some private information in there that the daughter is rightly available to have, because privacy is an essential for everybody.
Buried, or in all caps, buried, obviously very concealed from my viewing. I had never seen this item before, and I was genuinely confused when I held it up and questioned
how are you confused at your child having a diary? Like, I feel like most children have had a diary before. Where is the confusion here? There is no confusion to be had. Like, please don't do this. Please do not take the diary away from this child. Do not do that. And also, 8 passengers, lady, I don't know your name. Please do not agree. Please. You're a parent. I know you know better than this. Please don't do that.
Almost immediately after seeing it, my daughter's face went pale. Okay, so I want you to hear how this mom takes notice of her daughter's reaction. This mom is really awake. She says her face went pale. She basically threw herself over my lap. So she's the daughter.
Probably because there's some sensitive information in there. Like, obviously she's going to react because, she might have a crush on a boy or a girl. Like, sorry to establish gender norms there, but she might have a crush on somebody at her school. She might have a little secret. She might have done something bad that she decided to write down, because, when people do bad things or silly things or things that they regret, they might write it down as a therapeutic experience to learn from that and get over it and just grow as a better person. And if you exploit that, if you don't allow that, and if you break that privacy, you are stopping your kid's development as a human being.
She's throwing herself in an attempt to snatch the journal from my hand. So the daughter went into a flurry of control. This 14-year-old daughter lost all the blood in her face, went into fear. She threw herself across the room into her mom's lap, trying to snatch this journal. She obviously does not want the mother to have this journal.
Yes.
I withheld it from her.
Why? Like, why? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, seriously, what is actually wrong with you? There is no reason to do that. This is the thing we need to establish, and I don't think it's spoken about enough. A child of 2 parents has the complete right to owning their property, and I know, like, taking things away from children is a thing that people like to do as punishment. I actually don't think that's a very good mechanism. Maybe you can stop your kid from watching TV, because that is a family thing, everybody uses it, and if they're watching too much TV, you can say, yeah, don't. But taking personal property away, like journals and books, that's only going to make this child not only not only not trust you, but also be angry at you, and it's also going to make them not tell you things, and also going to stop them from telling themselves things where they write things down, usually because they're under fear their parents will take it away from them and read their personal secrets. So not only are you building distrust in this person, you're also making them not tell people things because they don't trust anybody, but also you are stopping them from having that therapeutic experience. If you agree with what these people are saying, you are a fucking miserable person, and I hope you never have children.
As her behavior gave me a massive pause. Right there. That is so fantastic that you caught that so quickly.
I mean, of course she would agree with it. Like, this person has an entire family, and there's so much out there about how she treats her kids, and it's only, like, I give an example to you if you didn't know. So one of her kids was hungry, and I believe that I think the kid was like 7 years old. They were very young, is what I'm saying, and they were at school, and they went to school, and they forgot to take their lunch with them, and the parents didn't go and drop the lunch off at the school for the kids so they can eat and not be starving. They didn't do that because they wanted the kid to have a learning lesson about responsibility responsibility. Allowing your kid to starve isn't a responsible lesson. They would have been hungry and thought, I should have brought my lunchbox with them. And the next day, they'll remember that and they'll go. But you don't let them starve, think about that, and then continue to starve. You're the parent. Your duty is to care and allow these kids to grow and guide them, not just being an enforcement officer. Sorry, I get really annoyed by these sorts of things because it's especially when these people have entire careers based on their children. All you could do is have a little bit of fucking respect for your child.
Going into a flurry of fear did not cause you to go into fear. How many times do our children go into massive hysteria and we, the parents, go into it with them? Not this mom.
Or you could just not go into hysteria and allow them to be a child and be comforting. Like if they are upset, comfort them, but don't breach privacy. Pretty fucking simple stuff. I understand that being a parent is difficult. It's a time-consuming job, but there are some things which people need to realize that is fucking easy as a parent to just know how to treat your child. Just have some respect. Treat them as another human being. Don't treat them as a lesser because they're your child. This is the thing I think a lot of parents do wrong. They think that because it's their child and they're younger than them and they produce them, they have the right to treat them as a lesser individual. That's only going to install such negative things in these kids' brains for when they're older. Stop doing that.
Stood her ground.
Remember, a child is not an item. I completely agree.
Went, This is giving me pause here. This is off. So excellent job. My daughter was sweating. Her eyes welled up with tears. Mom does with this. I got curious. I said things like, you are not reacting respectfully. So the mom is reflecting to the daughter what she just saw. So you'll hear Jody and I say often, you need to reflect truth to your child. Instead of the mom going into distortion.
It's not respectful taking away their fucking diary. That's the opposite of respect. You can't demand respect but not give respect.
Or saying, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. I can see that you're upset and give the journal back.
No, that's what you fucking do. You don't go through the journal, like you just said, but you also don't fucking take it away because that's their property.
Both of those would have been in massive distortion. The mom stays very grounded and she reflects, hey, you're acting off here.
She's acting like a child because she's a fucking child.
She says, you're not acting respectfully.
I'm sure you wouldn't like it if I don't know, you were on your phone and I took the phone out of your hand and you were like, don't fucking do that, that's my phone. You wouldn't like that. Nobody in the chat would like it if I just snatched their phone out of their hand. Sure, maybe I don't look at the text, but I've still snatched their property away from them, and that's obviously a wrong thing to do, regardless of your age or whether you're somebody's child or friend or girlfriend or boyfriend. Regardless of any of that, it's just wrong to take people's property away from them, especially with no meaning.
I want to discuss this. We can do so when you're willing to behave in truth. So now the mom has reflected truth.
And I think this is the main problem with this channel here. They keep banging on about this truth thing. That's what the whole thing is here. Acting truth and stuff like that. The enemy of truth. And the truth thing here is that they have these rules and regulations that they have set up. And they are using, like, I guess, wholesomeness and I guess Christianity and God as a way to kind of, I guess, dictate how people should follow their lives. And it's just absolutely embarrassing. Like, you have no right to do that. And I think using religion as a way to kind of, I guess, Trojan horse your beliefs and views and rules into other people's lives, it is just the wrong thing to do. And it's so insanely condescending, but also just sad that this woman does have an actual child. Like, she has multiple children, I'm pretty sure. And it's sad to me that she has brought up her kids with these mentalities, because I imagine they probably have trust issues and stuff like that. It's just depressing. And this is just a little look at 2 videos. I've clicked on 2 videos and I already think this person is a bad parent. How sad is that? And the thing is, as I've said, this channel is so unbelievably active, and it does seem that parents are consuming this content. So there are a lot of people treating their children horribly because this woman is basically telling them that this is the right thing to do. So to conclude this, just can treat your kids with respect. It's not hard. Don't treat them as a lesser individual. Be a friend, but be a parent. And being a parent isn't taking things away from your kid to punish them for not telling you things or acting a little bit sus. That's just a child being a child. You'd act sus if I took your phone away from you. So why would it be different if it was anyone who was younger? It's just a really stupid mentality to have. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video there by saying, if you want me to do a bigger deep dive into these, I could maybe do a main channel video about it. I have actually done research into them. I have a big research doc which I haven't fully completed yet, but I could maybe. So yeah, comment down below, like this video, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Peace out, have a lovely day, and just don't parent your kids like these weird people. Bye bye.